At the time, I didn't know how serious cancer was, um, so I didn't think much of it. But I do remember she had a tumor the size of an orange. That's what the doctors were saying.
So tell us a little bit about when you first found out your mom was ill, what that felt like, when you remember.
My family has previously have been very prominent with cancer.
Okay.
So the first thing that I thought was it was probably cancer. But it wasn't known yet. We didn't know that it was. So I went to the hospital and we went to my mom, and she did not look herself at all. Wow. She looked very sick. She was probably all drugged up on everything, and they were all testing her. But it was very unusual to see my mom like this. And then a couple days passed by, and I think we got the test results back saying that she did have cancer, brain cancer. At the time, I didn't know how serious cancer was, so I didn't think much of it. But I do remember she had a tumor the size of an orange. That's what the doctors were saying.
Wow. And
when they did the surgery to remove the tumor, I remember right beforehand, I couldn't go into the surgery room where she was staying to say, good luck with the surgery. And that really hurt me because I couldn't really, if the surgery went wrong, I was never going to see my mom again.
Wow. So how did you deal with that in that moment?
When the doctor first told me that I couldn't go to see her, I ran and I was crying. I ran over to my grandpa and my family that was all in the waiting room. And there was one of my friend's moms who was a doctor who was there too, and she was very upset. And she marched over to the lady and said, "You're gonna let him see his mom, or else we're gonna have a problem." Nice. That was very helpful.
Yeah, and
I finally got to talk to my mom right before the surgery happened.
Oh, that's awesome. Advocacy. Wow. So fast forward, she did have the surgery. She did obviously survive the surgery. What's kind of like the next big thing in your mind that happened? She came home. Did things then change? Like, did you then now all of a sudden, life changes? Like for us, when Dom came home, he was in a wheelchair. He couldn't walk anymore. We had to transfer him from the wheelchair to the bed and to the chairs and all of that. What happened next for you and your family?
Well, my mom was obviously a lot weaker than she used to be. I couldn't really go out as much as I wanted to when the surgery just happened for like a couple months.
Right.
It was very hard because I didn't know what was going on at all. I thought it was just like she just got sick and now she's gonna be better in a couple months. But yeah, it was weird seeing her like sick like that all the time, where she just was not herself. She looked always tired, and it was just weird seeing her like this. It was unusual.
Yeah, we went through that, and it's a weird thing when somebody to be very vibrant, right? And just doing she's the mom, right? So doing everything in the house for everybody, probably going to then, having to probably figure out food, and chores and all of that sort of stuff. And all of a sudden everybody has to pitch in a different way, and life just changed overnight, literally. How old were you then when this happened?
I think I was in 5th grade, so I want to say like 11.
10, 11, right? Yeah. So now, is there any point at which you said to yourself, okay, I'm not sure what's going to happen with my mom, and I'm going to do one thing or something differently than I was doing before?
At the time, I really did not know the severity of the disease. I didn't know that she was gonna eventually die. Mm-hmm. I thought she was just gonna, not be as strong as she was, but she's still gonna live out her life. So it was later on, like now, I kind of regret not really looking into what she had and not really understanding it more, not spending more time, but I was a kid, I wasn't supposed to spend all my attention on her when I could be living living a kid's life.
And I think she probably wanted you to have as normal a life as possible in that time frame, right?
Because, and she was very she really wanted me to have that. I remember, even though she didn't have a job, she would always, do the extra step to make sure I was okay. She did drive me around a lot, and she did plan out a lot of things, which I was very thankful for.
Wow. Now, I know your family is very, your faith is important. Tell me how your faith as a young man grew.
Well, at the time, I was going to church every weekend, and every Wednesday I would go to midweek, which is basically Sunday school, but on a Wednesday. After my mom was diagnosed, things didn't really change with my faith because, once again, I didn't know that she was eventually going to go. So I went to church. I tried to be a little bit more happy to go to make my mom feel better. But other than that, it didn't really change
a lot. Yeah, so for us, what I observed, and it's funny, I was looking at, Devin asked me yesterday to send him some pictures of him from when he was a baby till now. And I had to pull all these pictures together to send to him. And I noticed that his happiness level changed. As I looked at the pictures yesterday, I was like, wow, he used to be so just innocent happy, right? And I could literally see the point at which he wasn't innocent happy anymore, right? And it was more of yeah, he's happy, he's doing some stuff, but, he struggles because something major changed. Did that happen with you?
I do think it did, because I remember as a kid, I did not really look at the world as such a place where people are going to die. I always thought, everyone's going to live forever, and everyone's going to be happy. But once my mom got sick, once again, I didn't know that it's rarity, but later on, I want to say seventh, or when I was in 8th grade, then I realized she's not going to be she's not going to be here as much as I want her to be.
Right.
So after really that point, the point that I realized she's not going to live forever, that's when I was not really myself anymore.
Right.
That kind of changed.
Yeah. And I think it takes a long time. Are you doing any therapy?
I am, but it's hard to nowadays to go because of Corona.
Right.
But I do go to therapy a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of the reluctant people to eventually go to therapy, which I now actually am very happy I'm doing. But it becomes really important, because what I noticed with Devin was that I think his view of the world got darker, is the best way I can put it. And like you said, not as optimistic. But if you were to say to a young person out there who finds out that their parent is ill, what would you say to them?
Try to find something that you two can bond over, and that maybe after the parent or whoever's sick in your life, after they go, you can still do that thing to remember them.
What do you do?
Sometimes I pray, or I just play with my dog, because my mom loved my dog. She loves all animals. I also listen to some of her music that she likes.
Okay.
So that kind of reminds me of my mom. So just little things like that. I think the hardest part about having a family member that's sick or is like dead or like just in a bad situation. I think the hardest part is just going through it in general, and before it happens, during, when it is happening, and after this event happens. You're never really gonna find like how you were happy again, but you're gonna find different ways to become happy. And it's definitely gonna be hard. I do remember right after she died, I wasn't really ignoring the fact that she was gone, but I didn't really let that stop me from doing what I wanted to do. Like, I was always hanging out with my friends. The day after, I went for a bike ride with like 3 of my friends. She died in early June, so it was right before school ended. We had a couple days left of school, and I wanted to go back to school. And I don't really want to change that, what I did. I do know a lot of people were telling me to stay home and to really grieve, but I was kind of ignoring them. Like, I want to do what I want to do. And I do think that's the best for everyone. You know, you shouldn't be listening to what everyone else is telling you to do, to a certain extent. But you should really be doing what you think is the best for you, as long as it's not going to harm you.
Right. Wow. You've grown up quite a bit there, man. I remember him as a little itty bitty boy. Well, thank you for your bravery.
Thank you for
to discuss this really difficult subject. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you,
I'm
too.
going to be praying for you. You've got to be praying for you.
I will.
Promise.
And I'll be praying for your family, too.
Thank you.
I will. I promise.
Oh.